G'day guys, Steve here. Well, after an absence of some time playing around with our model trains, I've now decided to route another slot car track. This one's going to be the Paramount Ranch course. This was out of a slot car Bible book some years ago, and I always liked it. The reason I never really attempted this one before was because it's probably a bit small. I've got a 20 foot by 40 foot shed, and most of the other tracks I built took up the whole shed, but now I've got other things in the shed and I don't have as much room. I thought I'd go back and actually do this one. As you can see, 44 foot per lap, so it's not huge. The overall space is around about 16 foot by 9 foot. They recommend to put it in a 20 foot by 10 foot space, so it should fit okay. So what I've been doing, because we don't understand feet and inches too much here in Australia, I've had to convert it all back to millimetres and so forth, so I can actually understand what's going on. But look, either way, if you're working off a scale plan like this, as you can see, here's your scale here. The first thing you're going to have to do is some calculations anyway, even if you're still working in feet and inches, to work out what's what. The other part of this, this diagram, I just downloaded off the net. You can get it out of the book, or there's plenty of slot car sites that have got them. Here is the bench work for it. Interestingly, again, there's the scale, so I just did some rough calculations, well actually not rough, but fairly accurate calculations. First thing I had to do was create or work out what that scale was in centimetres, so I did that. It's 0.9375 is 1 foot, and 1 foot's actually 304.8 mil. So every measurement I took here, for example this one here, it was 44 millimetres. I had to then divide that by 0.9375 and then times it by 304.8, which gives me my 1 metre 430.5 mil cut, and then repeat for all the all the pieces like that. So providing his scale and this printout is accurate, it should be pretty close. Look, at the end of the day, it's just the framework. If I have to make some adjustments, I can do that. It's not too difficult to be able to do. However, reading the instructions, you'll notice that there's 4 tables, table A, B, C and D. You've put these ones together once they're all cut out, and this table here actually sits below the other ones to give you a slant on the track. I'm not going to cut these pieces out just yet, because it actually says in the instructions to use 12 inch for that, and when I show you some pictures later you'll understand why. So that's where I'm up to with that. The next thing is to get our timber and start marking it out. Okay, so the instructions actually call for 1x4s for the framework, but I had a whole lot of these sitting around, which are kind of 1x3s. They're just rejected timber. They're straight enough, but they've got this sort of shit like knots and bits missing and stuff like that. So they're not perfect pieces of timber. My local timber yard sold them to me for $2 a length, so you can't complain about that. And at the end of the day, they're pretty bloody solid. They're not going to go anywhere once they're all fit and screwed, so we're going to do that. Now, when you're cutting all these out, I'm not sure if I've got enough lengths here. I've got about 10 lengths. There's my 1200 MDF, 4 foot by 8 foot MDF. I've got 3 sheets of that. I'm probably going to need a bit more, but we'll see. So the idea is, now we've got all our lengths here, is we're going to start off by cutting the longest pieces first, because obviously we want to try and get minimal wastage on these. So we're going to draw these up and try and get as many as we can on this timber and see how we go. Okay, so I've marked out my first piece, which is this one here. So 143 out of 0.5. So I've measured that one out, used my set square to give me a nice straight line, and then what I've done is I've written on that piece the length and which table it belongs to, in this case table B. The reason for that is once all this stuff's cut up and it's all on the ground, and you've got to try to work out which piece goes to what, and that's going to make it a hell of a lot easier. So I'm going to do the rest of this and we'll be back after that. Okay, so it's taken me about half an hour or so, and I've got all the pieces marked out, measured, labelled, so that when I cut them up I'll be able to group them up and go. So I ended up with, what have we got here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 lengths of 3 metre, and I'm a little bit short. I'm short by that one, 117 and 864, so 2 metres short, so I really only needed one more length. Plus of course I'm going to need stuff for the legs. I've already got some wood up the shed I should be able to use for that, but I'll get all this stuff cut and we'll make a start and we'll see how we go. Okay, so we've finished cutting up all our pieces, and as you can see I've put them in piles A, B and C and D for the various tables, and now I'm going to put them all together as per the diagram. Okay, and there you have it. There's frame A put together, all screwed. Measurements are out slightly compared to the scale, but not too bad. It's solid enough, and now we'll get on to frame B. Okay, there we have frame B all put together. Went together pretty well. Had to put 2 pieces in there instead of the one long one, but it'll be strong enough. I've actually now joined these 2 together. I think the whole idea is that you can take the frame apart if you ever want to move the track. So frame A will separate from frame B if you want it to. But yeah, everything's pretty good. Very solid, no problem. Now we'll get on to doing frame C. Okay, that's table C done. There was a few issues with this one. The specifications here, just this length here, 12517, just seemed to be the wrong size, so I had to make a few adjustments to make that one fit. I triple checked all my measurements, and I recalculated that 3 or 4 times, and it all come up trumps, but it just didn't quite fit. Not quite sure why. Anyway, I've made the adjustments, and there we go. Okay, here's table D, all finished. I worked out why these measurements are out just a little bit, because the original specifications called for 1 inch by 3 inch wood, and mine is a bit more than that, 1.25 inches maybe, so that's why some of the measurements are out. Doesn't really matter in the end, it'll all go together okay. So now the 4 tables are made up, it's time to take them up the shed and fit them all together.